My name is Ayoli. I am the creator, designer, and founder of BAK2BAK. BAK2BAK had started in 2018. I was a senior in high school and I was in the computer lab during lunch period with one of my buddies. At the time, I had gotten into vintage wear clothing and I was already into sneakers since I was a kid. During that time, I had been aware about the reselling market. So when the reselling market had caught my eye, that's when I found out about people reselling Supreme, shoes, and then at this time, this is when I had found out about people reselling vintage clothing. So when I did more digging about reselling vintage clothing, that's when I came upon this store in LA called Round 2 Vintage. Growing up, me and my mom didn't have much, so we would always go to the secondhand store, the thrift store, and I hated going there because I obviously wanted to wear new, nicer clothes. My perspective on that changed because that's all I wear nowadays is older generation clothes, vintage clothes or secondhand clothes. At that time I was like, I want to do that. I want to resell vintage clothing because I had been around thrift stores my whole life. So I thought about a name. I've been into sports. I've been an athlete since I was 4 years old. Been competitive. Can't really see now, but this is a poster of Allen Iverson. This is a poster of Jordan and Kobe. I got one of Kobe. My whole room is decked out in sports. So I started thinking about the greats like Kobe, Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic. I started thinking about what they have in common. And they all have that competitive mindset and about pursuing more than just being content with being a regular basketball player. So many of those have won championships, and not only have they just won one championship, they have won two. Anybody could do it once. You know, when people do it once, a lot of people may think it's luck. But a lot of these greats, they didn't stop there. They kept going and kept pursuing. So then they would go for a back-to-back championship. At that moment and at that thought, that's what rang a bell, back-to-back. So I started BAK2BAK in 2018, and I was actually reselling vintage at the time. So I would go to thrift stores, look online, and get some secondhand clothing, such as sportswear. I started getting more creative, and I didn't want to just resell. I didn't want to just sell vintage clothing. I wanted to create my own stuff. So at the time, I didn't have no resources, no knowledge, nowhere to start. So what I did was I just went on Google, searched up custom t-shirts, and I came across a website called Custom Ink. This is not a sponsorship. So I started on Custom Ink, using their templates to create shirts, sweaters. It was very expensive for very cheap quality production. But like I said, I didn't have nowhere else to go. So I buy shirts. Shirts would come out for like 30 bucks. Hoodies would be about 50 to 60. So what I would do was I would have enough money to buy at least one. So I'd buy one for myself, take a picture, post it on my Instagram, and list of pre-orders. So I would take pre-orders on those. And there would be a few people that would order, that would hit me up telling me they liked it. So they would place an order with me. I would order it through Custom Ink. I would get it in, sell it to them. At the time, I wasn't making no money with it. And during those years, it was just about me getting the product out there and me getting the name out there. So the most I ever made when I was working with Custom Ink, the most I made per shirt was probably like $7 if I could remember correctly. Other than that, I was selling it for the same price that I was getting it because it was already high priced items, and I didn't like the quality. It was not quality worth to sell higher, so I just sold for as much as I got it for. Throughout the years, I kept going, still am going, and just kept pursuing, kept creating, kept getting better at designing. I also do the graphic designing behind the brand, and I didn't even have a computer at the time. So what I did was I waited till my financial aid came in for school, and I used it for a computer. I had no background behind graphic designing, so what I did was I got Photoshop, and I just taught myself all night, just teaching myself how to use Photoshop on YouTube, how to do this on Photoshop, how to do that on Photoshop. So it's an ever-going cycle of learning. Till this day, I would not say I'm a perfectionist at it, but I still play around with it, and I still learn a lot of new things every time I touch Photoshop. So I say that to say this: no matter what you're doing in life, it's going to be a process, it's going to be a long journey, it's going to be a lot of ups and downs, there's going to be a lot of people that don't believe in you, there's going to be a lot of people that hate on you, there's going to be a lot of people that try to do what you're doing, of people that aren't going to give you your flowers. There's going to be a whole lot of BS that you're going to have to deal with when creating your own avenue, whether that be a business, whether that be a magazine, whether that be whatever it may be. You know, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to try to bring you down, even your own family. But the one thing they can't take from you is the fact that you keep going. They gotta respect it. They gotta respect the fact that you keep going and you keep pushing towards your dreams. That's when people start realizing, like, oh, he's still going. I remember him from 2018 and he still has that brand. And it starts bringing some traction and bring some more attention, and all those people that second guessed you will come back and pay your respects. So from 2018 till present, which is 2024, BAK2BAK is still going. It's still in the works. And what I wanted to do with this YouTube channel is I wanted to show everybody out there the journey. What I want to do with this new journey and this YouTube channel is share my story and journey on this platform, because throughout the years, many people have always just thought, oh, it's not that hard. I'm glad and okay to be honest with the people, because that's what life is. Life shouldn't be sugar-coated. You know, you should be honest with people, especially if you're starting something, so they don't get misled by social media or other people that is pumping their head like, oh, you can make all this money and that, and which is true, you can, but you also don't want to do something because of the money. You want to do something because you got the love for it. Me, I have invested tons and tons of money into my brand, and I'm nowhere near being rich, you know, but I do it because I love it. I do it because it's opened a lot of doors and opportunities for me and the brand, and that's what I want to share with the world. I want to share, you know, the fact that no matter what you're doing, it's a beautiful struggle, but at the end, I believe it'll be worth it. The only thing that could stop you is yourself. Thank everybody who is here with me in my new journey of sharing on YouTube, and those that have came from being longtime supporters. I appreciate you. So what my plans are with this channel is, like I said, to share the journey. After this video, I will have a lot of content built up because I'm going to Detroit. Yes, I'm going to Detroit, the 313 Motor City, home of the hustlers. I'm going to Detroit because I want to network. I want to create in other sides of the world. I believe I'm from the Central Valley, Modesto. I believe a lot of us start to box ourselves in on where we're from, and that kind of stops our growth. I believe in expanding your perspective, learning and taking in new things and new opportunities and using that. You know, I believe in being a student, because no matter how much you may feel like you are a master at something, you are still learning and still should be a student to the game, whatever that game may be. So I'm heading out to Detroit for this first stop, calling this the state-to-state tour. I will be in the 313 for a whole week. I will be creating. I will be linking up with a lot of creatives out there. I'll be shooting a lot of commercials, enjoying life while working. You know, this is the beauty of the process. You can do whatever you want to do with it. All the power is within yourself. The world is yours. So I thank everybody that's here. I thank everybody who's watching, and I hope you guys don't give up on yourself, and the world is yours.